In this video, we're going over the new top 5 meta loadouts here in Black Ops 6 after the Season 1 Reloaded update. I will be going over both 5 as well as 8 attachment class setups. Let's get into it. For class setup number 1, we're taking a look at the good old AK-74, one of the hardest hitting assault rifles in Black Ops 6 as well as Warzone. For the optic, we are going to be utilizing the Kepler Microflex, cleaning up the optic picture, making this weapon incredibly easy to use at any and all ranges. Now, for the muzzle, because the AK-74 has low recoil, the suppressor is going to be a massive W, keeping us off the radar when firing. Now, for the barrel, I do recommend putting on the long barrel when rocking the AK-74. This is going to be giving us the maximum damage range, so we can get the fastest time to kill at those medium, longer ranges. We can outgun other XM4 as well as Model L users. For the underbarrel, in order to keep this weapon's recoil under control, the vertical foregrip is going to be a very good attachment to drastically bump up horizontal recoil control. I know some people like to go ahead and put on the Ranger on here as well as the precision, but the vertical foregrip is going to offer the maximum horizontal recoil control, and that's exactly what we need. For the magazine, we are going to be utilizing extended mag 1 here, giving us a healthy 40 rounds, so we can take out more than one person very easily without having to reload. An absolute W. For the rear grip, I highly recommend running the commando grip on the assault rifles. This is going to be a bread and butter attachment, improving both aim down sight speed and sprint to fire speed. Incredibly helpful. For the stock, because the AK-74 is going to be a mid-range monster, I do recommend putting on the balance stock. The balance stock is helping us out for everything we need to get locked in with this attachment. We have improved aim walking movement speed, hip fire movement speed, and strafing movement speed. This is going to transform this weapon into a mid-range monster, and we can also dominate at close range as well, because we do have some close range benefits with this attachment. And then finally, we are going to run a fire mod, and the recoil springs are going to be incredibly important, improving more horizontal as well as vertical recoil control, completely smoothing out the recoil pattern with this AR. This is going to be a fantastic 8 attachment build. I do recommend running the 8 attachment build on the AK-74. As you guys can see here in the firing range, we're going to have a fast ADS, a fast sprint out speed, aim walking speed is going to be beautiful, and like all my class setups, we are going to have very good recoil control. And because this weapon has a fast reload, we can take advantage of an extended mag attachment. Now, let's say you do not want to run an 8 attachment class setup. You're more of a 5 attachment class setup guy, which is cool. You want to run more perks or something else. You want to remove the recoil springs. You want to remove the balance stock. And we're also going to remove extended mag 1. This is going to be a more bare bones AK-74 build, but it is still going to be getting the job done. As you guys can see here, we are going to still have recoil control and overall handling as well. It's not going to be as good and as overpowered as the 8 attachment setup, but it is effective. And let's say you just can't control the recoil without the recoil springs, feel free to go ahead and swap that suppressor out for the compensator. You are going to be on the map, but you guys can see here, it is going to be very, very easy to control. The AK-74 is one of those ARs where you can kind of build it how you want to set up for your playstyle and still be effective. For class setup number 2, we're taking a look at the KSV. This is a very underrated submachine gun here in Black Ops 6 as well as Warzone. This class setup is going to work for both modes. Now, we're not running an optic. The iron sights are going to be perfect on the KSV, which is a massive W when attempting to build a 5 attachment class. Now, for the muzzle, unfortunately, the suppressor is out the option. We have to rock the ported compensator on the KSV. We need that improved first shot recoil control and vertical recoil control. The KSV has a really weird and annoying recoil pattern. This is going to help forget all about that so you can stay on target at longer ranges. Now, for the barrel, I highly recommend putting on the long barrel when rocking the KSV. We're going to maximize our damage range so we can get the fastest time to kill possible, because Black Ops 6 is still an AR dominant Call of Duty. I highly recommend running an underbarrel, and the vertical foregrip is going to be mandatory on the KSV. Unfortunately, we cannot run the Ranger foregrip because we need the maximum horizontal recoil control when rocking this submachine gun. For the magazine, we are going to be utilizing the flip mag here just for some faster reloading. This is going to be really important on the KSV because it does have a moderate to fast fire rate, but the problem is we have to stay locked and loaded, so the flip mag is going to be a better option than extended mag 1. I highly recommend going ahead and running this so we're not slowing down our handling, especially at those closer ranges. For the rear grip, we are going to be utilizing the CQB grip. This is going to be fantastic on most submachine guns, improving more sprint to fire speed, slide to fire speed, and dive to fire speed, allowing us to go crazy at those closer ranges. Now for the stock, I highly recommend putting on the balance stock on the KSV. As you guys can see, it's going to be doing everything we need for a submachine gun setup. We've improved strafing movement speed, hip fire movement speed, and aim walking movement speed. We have everything locked in with this attachment. Fantastic. And then finally, we are going to be utilizing a fire mod, and we're going to be rocking recoil springs to help us out with the really annoying and unusual recoil pattern this submachine gun does have. Once you go ahead and build this 7 attachment class setup and jump into the firing range, you're going to see that the KSV is now usable. We are going to have a very easy to use weapon at those medium ranges. It is going to be a close to medium range submachine gun. You can rock it at longer ranges if you want, but there are going to be better SMGs and assault rifles that are going to be excelling at that range. Now, let's say you do not want to run gunfighter, you do not care to rock a 7 attachment class. What we are going to be doing with this build is we're actually going to remove the balance stock, and we're also going to remove the flip mag. This way we can still have recoil control with that ported compensator and recoil springs. Once you go ahead and jump in the firing range, you can see here that we are still going to have an accurate class. The only thing that we're going to be losing out on is going to be reload speed and overall like handling at closer ranges. But the big thing about the KSV is we need to make sure that we are on target, so we're still going to have those attachments on our setup even with a 5 attachment setup. For class setup number 3, we're taking a look at the trusty handy dandy AS Val. Overall, a fantastic AR if we're looking for a fast time to kill. Now, if you want to, you can rock an optic on this assault rifle. The iron sights are great, so if you want to run a 5 attachment build, I have you covered. But if you want to run gunfighter, the Kepler Microflex is going to be a great choice here, giving us a precision optic picture, making things a lot easier to use with this weapon. Now, for the barrel, we are going to be rocking the suppressed long barrel. This is going to be giving us the maximum damage range, and because it's the AS Val, we have an integrated suppressor, so we're going to be off the radar when firing, a massive W. Now, for the underbarrel, I highly recommend running the vertical foregrip on the AS Val for maximum horizontal recoil control. For the magazine, we are going to be utilizing just extended mag 1 here. We do not need to rock extended mag 3 with this class setup because we're going to be focusing on a little bit more accuracy. So having extended mag 1 is going to be great, just giving us a 30-round magazine. So we're not going to be going ahead and removing a lot of that handling at closer ranges. Now, for the rear grip, we are going to be utilizing the commando grip, just like on all the assault rifle builds, for more improved aim down sight speed and sprint to fire speed. For the stock, we are going to be going ahead and utilizing the combat stock. This is going to be a great choice on the AS Val, improving more flinch resistance and aim walking speed so we can stay on target when shot and overall dominate at those closer ranges. With the weapon that has a fast fire rate, having flinch resistance is going to be super important here in multiplayer when you are building an 8 attachment or a 7 attachment class. And then finally, for the fire mod, we are going to be rocking recoil springs to go ahead and help out with some more recoil control with this AR. This is going to be a good 7 attachment setup on the AS Val. As you guys can see in the firing range, we're going to have a great sprint out speed, ADS, and walking speed, and we're also going to be able to outgun players easier at those longer ranges. Now, this is going to be a good 7 attachment setup if you want to go ahead and utilize gunfighter. Now, let's say you do not want to run gunfighter. I have you guys covered with a different build. We are mixing up quite a few attachments here. We're going to remove the combat stock. We're also going to swap out extended mag 1 for extended mag 2 here. We're going to bump the capacity up to 40, and we're also going to go ahead and remove the Kepler Microflex. This is overall going to be a solid setup because we're still going to maintain our accuracy. It's going to be not as accurate as that 7 attachment class, but we're going to go ahead and make up for that with a little bit more ammo just in case you miss some shots. As you guys can see in the firing range, we're going to be using the iron sights here, but we are still going to be, somewhat accurate, and we have a couple of extra rounds in each magazine just in case we miss a couple of shots. Honestly, I like to rock the 5 attachment class setup on the AS Val because it's just going to overall allow me to run more perks. I do know some people like to run gunfighter to make the weapons as overpowered as possible. Now, feel free to go ahead and rock extended mag 2 with the 7 attachment class, or even extended mag 3 with the 7 attachment class if you do not mind removing a little bit of aim down sight speed or sprint to fire speed with your class setup. For class setup number 4, we're taking a look at the good old C9. This is going to be a rock solid submachine gun you can use both in Black Ops 6 as well as Warzone. We're not running an optic. The iron sights are amazing on this submachine gun. Now, for the muzzle, we are not running a suppressor. Unfortunately, on this build, we're rocking the compensator to bump up more vertical recoil control. For the barrel, I highly recommend putting on the reinforced barrel on this class setup over the long barrel because we want to take advantage of both damage range as well as bullet velocity. For the underbarrel, we are going to be utilizing the Ranger foregrip here. Because we have the compensator, we can rock the Ranger, which is going to be offering horizontal recoil control and sprinting movement speed. A massive W, especially if you're trying to run and gun. For the magazine, we're going to bump the capacity up with the extended mag 1, giving us a healthy 40 rounds. Definitely going to come in handy. For the rear grip, I do recommend putting on the CQB grip with this submachine gun, taking advantage of sprint to fire speed, slide to fire speed, and dive to fire speed. We have close range locked in. Now, for the stock, we are going to be utilizing the no stock attachment here. This is going to drastically improve your movement speed, strafing movement speed, and hip fire movement speed. Massive W on a running gun C9 build. And then finally, for the fire mod, we are going to be rocking recoil springs to help us out with that horizontal as well as vertical recoil control. Once you go ahead and jump into the firing range with this 7 attachment class, I'm very happy because we have a fast sprint out, ADS, aim walking speed, and overall control of the recoil. This is going to be a great build if you're trying to run and gun with a submachine gun that honestly not that many people are using for whatever reason. Now, let's just say that you cannot control the horizontal recoil. Feel free to go ahead and put on the vertical foregrip. It isn't going to be as mobile, but at the same time, accuracy realistically is key, and you guys can see at longer ranges this is going to be a lot more controllable. So there's a couple different ways you can skin the cat with the C9. Now let's say you do not want to go ahead and utilize an 7 attachment class setup, which is fine. What we are going to be doing is removing the recoil springs, and we're also going to go ahead and remove extended mag 1 here. We're still going to have accuracy, we're still going to have that mobility. It's not going to be as accurate, but you guys can see here, if you keep on the vertical foregrip, it is going to be usable. When you are running the 5 attachment class setup, I do recommend running the vertical foregrip over the Ranger when rocking the C9. And finally, for class setup number 5, we're taking a look at the XM4. It wouldn't be a top 5 meta loadout without including this bad boy. Now, for the optic, we have on the Kepler Microflex, easy to use at all ranges. For the muzzle, we're going to be rocking the suppressor, keeping us off the radar. For the barrel, we're going to be utilizing the reinforced barrel, damage range, bullet velocity, money. For the underbarrel, we're going to be rocking the Ranger foregrip here for more horizontal recoil control and sprinting movement speed. Great for this specific class. For the magazine, all we need is extended mag 1, giving us a 45 round magazine. For the rear grip, we are going to be utilizing the commando grip for more aim down sight speed and sprint to fire speed. Amazing on assault rifles. For the stock, we're going to be utilizing the brand new buffer weight stock, removing all vertical and horizontal recoil with this assault rifle. You're going to see in the fire range how nasty this is. And then finally, for the fire mod, we are going to rock more recoil control with the recoil springs, giving us improved horizontal and vertical recoil control. Definitely go ahead and rock this 8 attachment class setup. As you guys can see in the firing range, we're still going to have respectable sprint out, ADS. It isn't going to be as mobile as some of my other XM4 builds, but this is why I have to include this weapon in this video. It is a straight laser. Absolutely zero recoil. This is an incredible setup. Now, let's say you do not want to run an 8 attachment class setup. We are going to be removing the recoil springs, and we are also going to be removing extended mag 1. And on this class, we're going to be removing the suppressor. Even though we are going to be on the map, it's not that big of a deal because we have a laser. I mean, look at this. It's still going to be a straight laser. Overall, one of the easiest, if not the easiest to use assault rifles in the game when you are building it this way. The XM4 is disgusting. These are going to be the top 5 meta loadouts after the Season 1 Reloaded update. Now, for the remainder of the classes, I rock this 9mm on all my builds. It's going to be a great submachine gun specialty weapon that just released. It's essentially a pocket SMG that is fantastic. I also rock the knife. I'm running stem shot, blast trap, which are broken free kills, the assault pack, and I am using scavenger, assassin, bankroll, enforcer because I have 3 perks under the same family And if I'm running a 5 attachment build, I'm running perk greed, giving me an extra perk. And I highly recommend going ahead and running ghost, so you're always off the radar, so you can get behind their spawn and build up a quick and easy streak. Now, if I am not running a 5 attachment class setup and I want to run something that's going to be 7 or 8, we are going to utilize gunfighter, and we're just going to be rocking scavenger, assassin, bankroll, and obviously still enforcer, because we have 3 perks under the same family. These class setups are going to be disgusting and incredibly helpful if you're trying to drop your first nuke or simply improving your KD ratio. So if that sounds good, feel free, drop a like in the video, subscribe to the channel, turn on those post notifications in your boy ears, and I'm going to catch you guys in the next one, man. Deuces.